Okay, I am live and ready to go, I guess. Hello, Diane and Paula. Aloha. My daughter just got back from Hawaii. She was in law school there for 3 years, and she just got back on Saturday. So she's all done. Now she just has to study for the bar. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Cynthia. I'm just going to wait a quick minute to see if we get more people on, and then I will get going with our project. Hi, Becky. How you guys all doing? I'm hoping that we have good reception today. It's a cloudy day, a little bit rainy, and my daughter's home. So that means that she's probably got her laptop on and her cell phone on and, you know, whatever that might take away from the, for the bandwidth or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call those things. So, hey, Monica. Hi, Rhonda and Jennifer. All right. We got some people coming in. All right. Okay. Well, what can I say? This is what we're going to do today. We're going to start. Let me turn down the camera just a bit, and I'll show you the pendants that that I've made with the with leaves. And these are geranium leaves. These three right here are geranium leaves, and this I believe is a raspberry leaf. And I think this is a raspberry leaf as well. This is very tiny though, although it probably would make cute earrings. There are several different plants that are good for doing this project, and some of them are not good. The leaves are too thin, the veins don't show. There's a list. It's just a short list, but let me see here. I think I've got it here in my notes. It says elm, mulberry, some ivies, geraniums, and ginkgos are all good examples for doing the pasted leaf. Okay, so the thing to look for, and I just have a geranium leaf here, it is you do this project from the back side of the leaf. You don't put the clay on the front. You put it on the back where the veins are. I hope that you can see that it's not fuzzy. But the geranium has some nice veins in it, and it holds up really well with the clay. It's a pretty substantial leaf as far as leaves go. So so this is what we're going to work on today, is a geranium leaf. And when you pick your leaf, you don't want to pick one too large or too tiny, but you want to leave yourself a stem, like a little handle that you can you know, pick the leaf up and work with it easier. So, you know, you want to leave yourself a little piece of stem, and it will dry up. You know, if you cut yourself a very small little stub, it kind of dries up, and then it's hard to hold on to. So you want to get yourself at least a little, maybe an inch of the stem. Okay. I picked this one already, but you know, when you look at a geranium plant, for example, you know, there's lots of different size leaves, and some of them are more ruffly than others, and some of them are a little bit flatter and plainer, and sometimes the little flatter ones might be a little bit easier to work with. And I will show you that or give you the reason for that as we go along here. Okay, so you pick yourself a nice leaf. It's nice to, have a geranium plant around all the time. I know when I first learned how to do art clay, I went up to Art Clay World in Oak Lawn. It's not far from me, maybe about 45 minutes. And they always have geranium plants in their windows for decoration and for, class purposes. So you could always find a nice little leaf to use. So, and these, depending on the part of the country that you live in, we're just outside of Chicago, so we have a pretty substantial winter and stuff doesn't really survive outside very well, but you can take your geranium plants in the house and they will keep growing, and you always have a source for more leaves if you need them or want them. Okay, so that's the plant. Then the next thing is the clay itself, and you need I don't know if other brands of clay, put out a paste. Because I learned with art clay silver, I've just stuck with them, and they're close by, and they have great service. And I haven't had any desire to change to anything else. But when you buy the supplies for this project, you will need silver paste. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy the paste. You can make your own if you have dry clay and you want to do that. And I would say that that's probably a great thing to do. The only drawback that I would see with that is when you grind the paste or grind the dry silver, it has to be super, super fine with absolutely no lumps or little, hard pieces in it at all. The first two layers of doing this leaf are the most important layers. So the finer your clay is, the better impression you're going to get with the clay in your leaf. So the first two layers should have the absolute finest clay or paste applied to them. And then if you have a little homemade paste that's a little bit chunky, or not chunky, it shouldn't be chunky at all, but a little bit less refined, you could proceed with those layers. So what I did was I ordered a jar of the 10 gram, but they're right now they're having a lot of trouble getting their shipments delivered. So they're pretty wiped out on a lot of their projects. So this may be, if this is a project you want to do, this may be one that you might have to wait a little while to do, unless you have, dried clay and you have the capability of making your own paste. But the paste, when you buy this, it comes in 10 gram bottle and a 20 gram bottle. There's not as much as it looks in here. There's probably like this much clay in this bottle. So it doesn't go a long way. A 10 gram jar is about what you need to do one leaf. You could do one a little larger than this, but not by a whole lot. Okay, so it recommends like a 1 inch to 1.5 inch leaf, per 10 grams. So just keep that in mind, that it may not go as far as you think it's going to go. The first two layers also get thinned with a little bit of water because, like I said, you want that first couple layers to be really smooth, because those are the ones that go right against the leaf, and they're going to pick up those impressions, from the veins. Okay, so, hey, Deb, glad you could join. Okay, so that's the beginning of, doing this, is having the paste, getting a leaf, and there's another thing to note. Now, when I first learned how to do this, I took a class over at Art Clay World, and they had bales that you could attach on the back. But I have not been able to find those. I looked on their website. I did not find that particular bail. So you could use a jump ring. You could solder a jump ring on the back of the piece itself. Now, when you do the geranium leaves in particular, because where the stem was, it's going to leave a little hole where the stem was once it's fired. So I don't know how close you can, if you can see this and how close I can get to it, but there's a little hole right there. Okay. So that by itself really doesn't make an issue, at least not to me, but it's hard to, let me back up. When we made the leaf in the class, we attached the bail when it was still clay. Okay, so we pasted, we put the pre-made bail on the clay and then put some paste on either side of the bail to tack it down, to hold it in. And then we fired it all together. Okay. Since I don't have those bails, like I said, I'm going to do a jump ring, but the jump ring, I could cut it in half, I guess. You could use it whole. I'm going to use it whole, but you could maybe cut a jump ring in half and then put that down and paste that on. But what I did in this piece right here, with that hole, I just took a little Swarovski crystal. I think it's either a 3 or 4 millimeter crystal that I took and just put it on a head pin and put it through, and then just wire wrapped it in the back. And then with the wire wrapped loop, I just put my jump ring and hung it from there, which is fine. I mean, it's just another design option if you wanted to do that because of that hole. I'm hoping today that I could, that I get to solder a bezel cup on one of the other ones that I've already made. That's what's in my plan. Like this one that's got this hole on it, I'm gonna solder a bezel cup on there, and then we can put a little gemstone in there. So I think that's a nice little option to cover that hole if you want to do that. So the downside with this particular project today is that it takes about 10 layers of clay to build up to enough thickness for a good pendant. So each layer that you apply has to dry thoroughly before you put the second layer on, okay, or the next layer on. So it's a project that takes a while to get it done. Now I have a dehydrator, so that does help speed up the process, but still I think it would be too long to do the entire 10 layers of paste in this demo. So what I did is I already pre-pasted a geranium leaf. This is one that I did a few days ago. This is the leaf that's dried on here, and there's about 10 layers of paste that are dried on here. And this is what I was saying about the stem. There's a little piece of, I got clay on the stem. Maybe if I would have been a little bit neater, I wouldn't have done that, but that's going to have to be dealt with after it's fired. I'll have to probably grind that down. So so that's just something to take into consideration as well. And you fire it, just like this with the leaf on there, and the leaf will just burn off. It's no big deal. But I'll try a couple of different things. I'll try to solder a bail on one that's already fired, the piece that I already have, that's done, and I will solder a bezel cup on another one that I've done, just to kill the time in between some of the layers. But initially, I'm going to just fire this one as the example, the one that I've already done. But I'm going to do a leaf with some layers just so you get the idea of the application. Okay, I hope that is relatively clear. So, okay. All right. Hi, Sunny. And let's see. You can't cut it off now. Jennifer, if I did, I'd be reluctant to do it because I'm afraid that I might crack some of the other clay. You know, I'm just reluctant to do that. But I guess the thing to learn here is try not to go up that stem very much with the paste. I think that would help. Yeah, Sunny, we're doing a geranium leaf. This is a fresh geranium leaf I just picked from one of my plants, and we're going to apply silver clay paste in layers, about 10 layers on this leaf, and then fire it. So this is, if you didn't see these before, I'll just shoot this down here. And these are geranium leaves right here. This one is a geranium leaf as well that I just put a little bit of dipped it in liver of sulfur. And this, I believe, is a raspberry leaf, and this is a raspberry leaf as well. So, you know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a neat idea that you can do something like this and make a pretty pendant from a piece of nature. So, all right, so I'm going to put these aside and we'll get to business here. Okay, so thanks, Sunny. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see here. Hopefully you'll be able to see this okay. I have a little teeny spatula that's kind of good for clay. I don't really use it for much else. But, okay, I have a brush. Now this one is a natural hair brush, and I don't know, it's soft, but sometimes some of the little hairs come off on the paste. So, you know, there might be a synthetic brush that might work a little bit better, but this is what I've got. So, so that's what I'm going to use. So I've got some water, I've got the clay paste, and what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the paste and put it in the cap or some other small receptacle that you can thin it out with just a little bit of water. Now because my dehydrator's on the other side of the room, I'm going to be just using a mug warmer, and I'm putting like a bowl over the mug warmer to kind of retain the heat a little bit, hopefully. But you know, basically you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna spritz a little bit of water in because I don't want to add too much. I might need to add a little more paste than that. I'm trying to be frugal because I want to be able to use it all. Or use it wisely, I should put it that way. Okay, so I'm just going to thin that little bit of paste with some water, just regular water. It doesn't have to be distilled. And I've got my leaf here. Let's see if I can bring this up a little bit higher. I'll get my caca block here. And just so you can maybe see it a little bit better. And get some paste on my brush. Hold my stem. And apply gently. The first layer that you put on, you're actually brushing the clay on. but on the subsequent layers, we're going to be dabbing the paste on. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling off what you just applied. You want to get in all the little nooks and crannies. And I'm working on what they call a tuff card, Tuffcard, which is just a piece of, it looks like a playing card, but it's got that special surface on it that things don't stick to it, that I had purchased from Cool Tools. Cool Tools USA, or US. Cool Tools US is the website that has lots of different cool products. So I'm getting that entire leaf covered. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just cover this up for now. And I'm going to put this in my little makeshift cup warmer with a plastic bowl on top. And we'll see how that works. I've never done this before, so we'll see if it's worth doing or not. Okay, so that's layer number 1. And we'll wait a little bit and check on it, and we'll see how it's going. Now this is clay paste that I made with dried clay that I had. I put it in the coffee grinder and mixed it with pulverized it, and then mixed some water with it. And this is too thick just as is, but you could add a little bit more water to it and thin it out, and that's totally usable. So, if you have some projects that you were working on and before you fired them, you didn't like them, you can just save them and then grind them all up in a coffee grinder dedicated just for grinding clay. I have a demo on that some months ago. It's a little bit way back, but it's in the it's not in the file. Well, the instructions are in the files, but the demo itself, you'd have to look in the videos and backtrack a little bit. So, but it's there to show you how to make the clay paste or to reconstitute your dried clay. All right, so since we're going to wait for that to dry, let's try one of these experiments. I'm going to move this already finished leaf so I don't crack it. You want to keep them in a safe place because that would be a horror to drop that at this point. All right, so I'm going to get my soldering stuff set up here. And for this, let's see here. For this, I have a double third hand, which I absolutely love because you can maneuver it to any orientation that you need when you're soldering something. So so this is definitely a nice tool to have in your tool stash. All right, let's see. Any questions up until this point? Oh, hi, Janet. Hi, Mary. Hey, Janet, there's a lot of stuff I can't do. Seriously, I mean, but like I've explained before, I've been doing this so many years, and I had my own shop. I had a physical store some years ago, and I had other people come in and teach, and we had lots of classes, and I learned, and I took a lot of classes at different places and stuff, so over the years. So I mean, I've got over 20 years into this, So I've learned a lot of different things, but there's still a lot of things I haven't tried. So eventually, maybe some things appeal to me, some things don't. I know with the glass, with the cabochons that I make, I was pretty hesitant to learn how to do that because I thought I just really didn't need another thing to learn. But I have some good buddies who are bead makers, glass bead makers, that I had the opportunity to learn from them for free and have fun while I was doing it. And I decided, well, you know, they were all at their torches doing glass, and I'd bring my enamels and I would do that, you know, instead of the glass. And it just looked like it was too intimidating to me. But after a while, I kind of caved in and tried it, and I decided that I absolutely love it. So sometimes it pays to step out of your comfort zone, and you might find something that you think is amazing. And it's good to have things that you like to do. At least I'm that kind of person that needs things, a creative outlet. So there's lots of variety. So, okay, so back to the double third hand. This I'm going to, well, I put my pendants over here. Let's get those back. I'm going to solder a jump ring on one of them, and I am going to solder a bezel cup on the other. And this is the one. Now, where I had the stem, where the stem came out, where it kind of jutted out, I took a disc on my flex shaft, and I sanded that down a little bit flatter so it doesn't stick out. And I also, is it this one? No, it's this one. Yeah, I did do that on that one, but this is the one I'm going to put the jump ring on. And this one, the hole was kind of opened at the top, right up here. My little pointer. So I just kind of filed that off a little bit, and it makes a nice rest for this jump ring to sit on here. But to be able to solder this onto this, this is where the double third hand comes in, because I could not attempt this if I didn't have this tool, okay? And I don't know if other people would do it this way. You know, I do a lot of stuff just from idea. You know, it's like I just get this idea that maybe this will work, you know, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, if you don't give it a shot, you'll never know. So what I'm going to do with one of the hands is hold my leaf, and I'm going to keep it straight up and resting on the bottom, or resting on the soldering block. Well, actually, I need to do this so I can see it better. So, all right, I might be a little bit sideways on this, but that's okay. Then I'm going to take my jump ring, and where it's got the open split, I'm going to grab that with the other third hand and position this. I may need to bring this over more. You just want to keep it steady. And make sure that that's lined up right with the split of the jump ring, that didn't move. And I'm going to apply a little bit of paste solder Move that first. Get that out of the way. Just a little bit of paste solder. I'm just using easy. Oh, of course. It's all in the preparation. Bear with me here. I have a bad habit of moving this and holding on to the part that opens and closes it. So I keep releasing it. All right. I'm pretty sure you guys can't see that, but I'll try to turn it so that you can. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it a little spritz of flux, although it doesn't really need it, but I always feel better that I put a little bit on there. Okay, so that's in position. Can you see it? Okay. It's in position, but I think it's kind of in the way so that you can't see it. All right. And we'll see if this works or not. Because this is actually the first time I'm doing this. The paste will smoke a little bit. That's normal. That's the nature of it. It's good to have good ventilation always when you're soldering, but especially with the paste flux, you should have a fan or window open, something to pull the fumes out of your breathing area. And I think I got it, but I may not have. It's hard to see. So you'll also have to be careful when you are, using the flame around these things that all this metal gets hot. So when you go to release this, you gotta remember that all that stuff's hot and that you don't want to burn yourself there. All right. So let's see. Let me quench this and take a look. And because I used a sterling jump ring, I have to put this in the pickle. The leaf itself is fine silver, so it doesn't get the fire scale on it like this does. This is a little bit crooked. I need to reposition this a little bit better to be happy with it. So I mean, I could let that go, but I really don't want to. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I regret it or not. All right, so now I have to work a little more gingerly because these are hot. Cautiously, I should say. But you know what? Before I do that, let's check on that leaf. And it is definitely ready for another layer of paste. So let's do that first, since that takes a while. All right, what did, oh, here it is. Okay. All right. And now I'm just going to dab it on. I can't really, or shouldn't really brush it because I'm, you know, for fear of disrupting that first layer. So I'm just dabbing it on. And you hold it very carefully. And already the stem is wilting, or I think it got cooked a little bit. You don't really want to glop it on. You want to be careful with it. But try to get it in all the little nooks and crannies, all the little folds of the leaves. You want to make sure you don't miss any of that. Otherwise, you're not going to have uniform thickness on the leaf. Any questions or comments? Okay. It's organic, that's for sure. All right, so this is going to go back on my cup warmer, covered with a little bowl. I think that bowl idea was a good idea because it captures the heat. It keeps that heat in the area, allowing that to dry faster. All right, so now back to this. All right, this is going to be a little trickier because I'm going to need to move it. So I'm refluxing, or refluxing. And we'll see if it works or not. This is going to be a little trickier. Maybe I think what I should do is hold this so I can detach it, and then I can put it back into the other. Actually, I'm moving it over just like that. Nope. Ah! Okay. All right. I just quenched that off. And I've kind of, I think I've kind of deformed this jump ring a little bit. Okay, we'll get another jump ring. But where are they? Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay. Get another jump ring. Deb, you're hilarious. Actually, I haven't, they haven't succumbed. I haven't, used that many, but it was for a good cause. All right, so I'm going to put a little more paste there since I'm putting a new ring in there. All right. All right, let's try this puppy again. All right, stay. Try it again. Oh, I melted my jump ring. Damn. I knew I was on it too long. I was trying, I thought there was a little piece of solder on the end of my solder pick. And I thought, oh, that would be nice to add that right on top. But you know what? Shit happens. So let's get this off. I did not expect this to go like this, of course. Who does? I mean, soldering a jump ring is usually like one of the easiest things ever. All right. I think I know I should quench that. All right. All right. Okay. Crapola. Well, it's how we learn, you know? It's how we learn. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I'm getting my face shield because I don't like getting splattered in the face with little metal bits. I'm just grinding out this fire scale so I don't have to take the time to pickle it. So I got these little nifty face shields, disposable face shields that I found on Amazon a while back. And when I was visiting my dad in the rehab center, I saw a lot of the staff working had these things on. I don't know what they were wearing them for because, well, maybe, no, I don't know. Maybe some medical stuff, but I thought they were kind of nifty. Instead of having all those little crumbs spitting out at me, they're nice and they're disposable. Okay, so back to this. And I think, well, no. Let's see here. We'll get some more solder paste. That's a little bit much, but I'm going to go for the big guns. Here, let's put this back in here. New jump ring. Still hot. Yowzers, hot, hot, hot. And it's my little Max's 11th birthday today. So tonight we're going to celebrate. And I can't believe that kid is 11 years old already. He is like the best kid ever. All right, this looks pretty dicey, but I'm gonna try it. All right. Oh, I wanted to give it a little spritz. And let's see, just a tiny bit I'm going to put on the top of that jump ring. Look at all that smoke. That's normal. The third hand does take a lot of the heat. It acts as a heat sink, so it takes a little bit more to heat this all up. All right, we'll see if that did it. Oh my, Deb, you're so funny. Yeah, there is no way in hell that I could go go-karting with him. No way. No, if I could get in, I could never get out. So that's just a no. Okay. All right. Hot, hot, hot. It's still crooked, but it's better. Maybe. Maybe. Just bend it over a little bit. Actually, that works, and that'll be fine. Okay, so that's going to go in the pickle, because I'm done with that. That's making me look bad. Okay, so then the next thing is I will get the third hands out of the way, and we will give another layer of paste to the leaf because it's dry. That thing actually works really well. I'm impressed. All right, so put that away. Wet my brush a little bit because it was starting to dry on there. All right, now I'm going to use my... No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Okay. So, back to this. This is for coat number 3. Dab. So you guys get the idea. It's just the same thing over and over again for about 10 coats. Get all the little areas, all the little crevices. And all this little excess clay that I'm getting on this little Teflex card, I can scrape that up and put that in my scrap jar for making paste again someday, or, you know, reconstituted clay. I want to go see if I can get a piñata after I'm done here. We've never done anything like that for a birthday, but I think that since he's not having a party with kids or anything, he just has to be with us old fogies tonight. I thought that would be kind of fun to break up the, well, not break up the monotony, but just give him a little bit more fun for his birthday. But I've never done that or checked him out, so I just thought of that last night, and I think it might be fun. Okay, so that's another coat on there. I'm going to actually spray this brush a little bit. And that's okay that I put more, water in here, because this is actually almost gone. And I think what I'm going to do is add, let's put this back in, the cup warmer. So that was coat number 3. I think what I'll do is add a little paste, my homemade paste, into this jar. For the next couple of layers. We'll see how that is. That's actually drying much faster than I thought it was going to dry. So that's a good thing. Yes, that mat, I can just take my little spatula and just kind of scrape that right off into the my scraps. My scraps are pretty down low. I've been using a lot of it, so I don't have much reserve, but that's okay. I did buy a bunch more clay before. It was hard to find. So, you know, I mean, if you guys visit Art Clay World's website, or, you know, any place that you would normally buy your clay, just know that, you know, at least Art Clay World's having trouble getting shipments from Japan. You know, it comes in from Japan, and you know, they're just having problems with the COVID and the transport and all that stuff. You know, all those ships get held up, and I'm sure they have product, but it's just not getting here to the States as fast as they would like it. So, but anyway, they're great people over there. They have excellent customer service, and don't despair if you can't get it done right away, or if you can't get it ordered right away. I mean. Okay, so for this then, I'm going to, well, where did I put it? I had a little container. Oh, here it is. But it dumped. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to I'm going to solder what? You can open the piñata, or you have to fill it up yourself? They don't come pre-filled? See, I know nothing about this stuff. Deb, I'm going to have cake and ice cream tonight. I've been very good for the last week, and I'm going to have a little bit of cake for his party. And then I'll feel horrible afterwards, but, you know, that's okay. So you have to fill it up with the candy? Yeah, and money's in there. Okay. Well, there's a Party City or something like that locally. That I'm going to call them, and well, actually no, I don't have to call them. I checked on their website last night, and they have them, but they didn't go into detail about it. Yes, candy and money. Okay, the kid's going to make out this year, but that's okay. All right, so here I've got a little bezel cup. This is a what is this? I think it's a 4mm. Yeah, that's a 4mm bezel cup. And I've got a little Amazonite stone that will come later. But I'm going to, where that hole is, remember where I showed you where the hole for the geranium leaf is, you could put in a little small stone, 3 or 4mm bicone crystal. You could put in there with a head pin, and then just wire wrap the back and put a loop on it. So that would be your hanging hole. But on this, I think I want to put a little, well, I know I want to put a little bezel cup on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of solder paste I would probably normally put regular solder on this, but I didn't bring it over here, and I've got this here, so I'm just going to put this on, and maybe it will help it stay more stable too, since this isn't a real even surface that I'm soldering it onto. All right. Okay. Now I could solder it flat on this board if I would have thought about it. Let me get something else here. Where's stuff when you need it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry. You know, you always think, at least I always think I've got stuff all ready, but I find out all the time that I'm not as well prepared as I thought. All right, I'm going to try this out, and just to get a little heat underneath that bezel cup. We'll try that out. Am I painting both sides with the clay? No, just the bottom, the underside of the leaf, Sonny. That's where all the veins of the leaf are. The best leaf, you know, the veins are really good on that side. So you just paint the underside. All right, flux that. And here we go with this. Warm it all up. Get it from underneath. It could be a little bit taller up. It appears that our reception's pretty good today. I'm pleased about that. I was a little bit apprehensive. Okay, where's these? So that kind of covered up that hole in the back. I'll quench it and put it in the pickle. And let's see how that other one. Good, good. I'm glad. So many times the reception is terrible. And I don't know the reason, truly, you know, I just guess. All right, let's see. But let's hope it stays that way. Okay, so that's cleaned up. Well, it's not cleaned up, it's pickled. And I'm going to leave that as it is. There's just a little bit of a nub here that I need to file off from part of the jump ring when it melted, and I tried to pull it off. A little piece of the jump ring stuck on here, so I need to file that off. And then just clean this up, and it's a little geranium leaf pendant. let's see here. I think I'll just try to take that down right now. Put my shield back on. You can clean these with a steel brush once you're done firing them, the pendants themselves. I'm just going to use this to quick clean it up. Sounds like it's crying to me whenever I do this. I would put this in the tumbler next and get a nice high shine on it. Oh, I can take this thing off now. Okay. So that's that. It's not perfect, but it's as much as I'm willing to mess with right now. Okay. If I was going to sell something like this, though, I would make sure I would take that back off again and center it again. But I'm just killing too much time doing that. So, okay. Now, where are we at? All right, let's see about putting another layer on the leaf. Yep, we're ready to roll with that. And I don't know if you can tell, ooh, this card is hot, but it's starting to get some weight to it. So that's a good thing. Ooh, that's hot. All right. So this is layer number 4, I believe. Oop. I should clean off that extra stuff so I don't pick it up. But it's kind of fun, you know. It's just so totally different than things that we do that it's kind of cool to try something different. We still haven't had much rain, and we still need it pretty bad. However, I don't really want it to rain for Max's birthday. Oh, the other thing, Deb, where do you hang a piñata? I mean, I don't have anything. I guess a tree would be good, but if it's raining outside, that's probably not going to be happening. Okay. All right, so that was layer number 4, I think. You should probably write these things down if you have a mind like mine. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do at this point then is I'm going to fire the leaf that I already have done. So I'm going to bring that over here. Now, if you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got, this one definitely has 10 layers of clay. So it has a substantial weight to it. You know, you'll be able to tell if it's, I think you'll be able to tell if it's too thin or not. But this feels like it will make a nice pendant, okay? All right, so I'm going to get my timer set up, and I'm going to put it on 2 minutes. And I'm going to use my small torch. And Lamb, can you wait to start it? I'll start it when I'm done. Okay.
How long is that going to be?
Maybe about 15 minutes.
I need you to do the fabric softener setting.
Okay. Okay, so this is all set up to roll here. And it takes about 2 minutes, but you don't start counting. Ooh, there goes the stem. Let's get that out of the way. It takes about 2 minutes, but you don't start to count your time until you start to get some color. You see, now this is smoking. This is the binder that's in the clay. That's a normal thing. It could even be the leaf burning up from underneath it, but that's completely normal. And just circulate your heat all the way around. And okay. And generally the clay will curl a little bit. Now the color is starting, so I am setting my timer for 2 minutes. The clay will start to curl up a little bit, just about on any piece that you do. That is a normal occurrence, and it will flatten back down. It'll kind of relax as we go along here. You want to keep an even heat on here. I can see, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's just a slight orange glow, and you want to keep it at that point. You don't want it to get like red hot, super red hot, because you're going to melt it. So you just take your time, and if you're too hot, like right here, you can start to see the silver show through on the edges. So I'm backing off a little bit with the heat. If you had this on a little turntable, a little revolving table, that would be nice. You can kind of go all the way around it. I don't have that on here. I want to get that leaf or the stem pulled away. But you want to make sure that the clay is fired through. See, the silver's coming out now. Okay. I'm going to go just a skosh more because I want to. Okay. All right. So let's see what happened here. The leaf essentially is burned up on my soldering board, and we now have a silver leaf. So I'm going to quench it. Now this is going to need a little cleanup because around the edges it was a little rough with the paste, but that's okay. That's easily fixed. Well, not fixed, but adjusted. Okay, so you can take some water and a steel brush. You always get like this white film that happens when you fire the clay. That's normal, but it all comes off. Let's see, I was cleaning, I wiped off my soldering board before I applied the fire to it, but there must have been just a little bit of schmutz stuck on the board that I did not notice because there's a little bit stuck on here. So I want to see if I can cut part of this off. Rather than grinding it all. Yeah. And then I can just file the rest of that. But let's see here. I have a brass brush too, but it recommends a silver or a steel brush, but I'm going to try the brass brush. Yeah, I'd say they're probably about the same. So whichever you have, you could probably use. Okay. So I think what I'll do is just... You like this, Nancy? You know you love this. That's great. It's fun. It's different. Yep. Face shield back on. Yep, another rabbit hole, Sandy. Never ends. I would definitely put this in the tumbler when I'm done. Okay, so this is 10 layers of paste for sure. So you can see it's a nice thickness. It's not thin at all, you know. It's not thin at all. So that makes a nice pendant. And then I would solder a ring on there. But you could probably do it from the back, not necessarily the front. Like I said, with a half of a jump ring, a larger jump ring, you could do a half and put it on there and solder that on there. So it's to me, it's definitely worth doing. I think this is fun. I don't have a ginkgo tree, or I would have loved to try a ginkgo leaf. And there is a mulberry behind our house, so I think I will try one of those in the next month or so. Get a decent leaf and see how that works out. So let's see here. I've got the other pendant. Well, you know, I don't think I'm going to set this stone because I did not put a bail on this one. I forgot I did not put a bail on it. I put the bezel cup on, but I didn't put a bail. So I would rather put my bail on before I put my stone. Well, I have to. I mean, I'm not going to set the stone and then apply heat again. But I mean, that's a nice way to cover up that hole if you wanted to do that. It's totally doable. It'll be pretty with a little stone. What I'll do is I'll finish this up after the broadcast and set the stone, and then I'll post these tonight. Well, I don't know if I will tonight. Maybe after Max leaves. If I'm not wiped out. You know, I may put those on there to show you the final product, but I'm sure that you can figure what it's going to look like. But I do like to put them on there after the project's done. Yeah, let's see here. Nancy Stowe says she's watching the grandbabies today with one on Zoom, so my watching has been fragmented. We'll catch the replay this evening. I'm excited. I should have most of the supplies, but we'll have to wait to get home to check on my stash. Yep, that's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, you know, we can't all watch these when they're live. I mean, it's just impractical to think that that you can't. Well, maybe you can, but I certainly couldn't in the real world. So, but I do enjoy watching other people's demos as well. Monica, I would think not, but honestly, I've never fired in a kiln, but I don't see why you couldn't. I would think that it would be fine. So, all right. So anyway, I've been goofing around on the group page, and I was trying to do the Amazon affiliate thing, and I was having great difficulty. And, you know, I did I followed the instructions according to, Amazon's thing or his page or whatever. And I kept thinking I was going to get a page like Francesca has. And that was what was hanging me up because there was no page, So I did some more investigating and then I contacted Francesca and, she told me I didn't qualify for the same affiliate program that she does because she's got like almost 4,000 members. So, you know, um, that I wasn't going to get the same kind of deal that she's got. So anyway, what I can do and what I've done was I can list products that and that I'm going to be that I use in my demos. And the downside is that the only way I can figure out how to do it on our group page is doing it through the guides section. And I put a couple of guides up there. There's 2 guides up there now. One has Amazon links on it, and that works. And then I put a guide. I just recently put a guide for Eurotool products, which links you to the Eurotool catalog, but it doesn't show you any pricing. And I started putting a few products out in the guides. I did like the 3 and the 4 hole deluxe punches and this the double third hand that I'm using. I put those on there in pictures, but I got to thinking, that's going to just be ridiculous, to list all these products. And I certainly cannot keep or buy ahead all these products, but what I can do is if there's something that you're interested in, you can give me the item number. I'll give you a price with the shipping, and I would think it'll save you a few bucks too. So the only thing is it might take a little bit longer because I have to wait to get it from them, and then I have to ship it to you. But you can't buy Eurotool products retail, from their website. It just can't be done. I mean, you'll find Eurotool products from another seller, like at a show or something, from time to time, but they're like a whole big business, and I am not. But if you want to take advantage of that, I mean, just post me a comment or a message, whatever, of anything you're interested in, and I'll shoot you a price, and we can go from there or not. It's just totally up to you. But I have been a Eurotool distributor for many years, and I did carry their product in my store when I had the physical store. But since I don't anymore, I just never really did anything with it. So, I mean, I'd buy for my stuff, but, I can still pass something along at a fairly decent price. The postage is that's the bane of my existence, is postage, shipping. I hate to pay extra money for shipping. There's one company that I deal with, and, you can get a box like this big, and they'll charge you $16 or $17 postage when it could have fit in like an envelope, and you paid the flat rate for the envelope for $8 or whatever, or $8.50. So that kind of stuff kind of irritates me, but I try to do the best I can when I'm passing stuff along. So anyway, that being said, bear with me if I'm goofing around in the group and you see all these weird things come up. I've been deleting probably as fast as I put stuff on too, because it's not right. So anyway, that's it for the layered leaf demo. And yeah, Stellar, they $35. Oh yeah, shipping is the worst, so I always try to do the best price I can, when I ship my cabs or any of that stuff, because it's a pet peeve with me. So, I would think you might feel the same way, unless you have tons of money, which you probably don't, but I know I certainly don't. So anyway, next week, oh, I didn't have it over here. Next week, I'm going to do chainmail. Ugh. And I am doing it from Sue Ripsich's classic chainmail book. I did one other project a couple of months ago from her book. I have permission from her. We talked about using the projects from her book, and she was totally fine with it, within our group. So what I'm doing instead of, and she didn't say anything, but instead of copying her pages of her book, which I don't think is a nice thing to do, I'm taking process pics of me doing the project, and and on the hand for the handout, and putting a picture of her book and encouraging you to buy her book if it's something that you are interested in. But I'm not done with this, but this is the project that I'm going to work on next week. This is called the Romanov as a bracelet. You can also make earrings, which would just be like one little section. And this takes a lot of jump rings. So, that's another thing. I don't know where you can get decent, good jump rings, sterling silver, in quantity for a fair price. That is a real tough thing. Some of the suppliers that I've known in the past aren't in business anymore. And sterling silver is expensive. So, and to make the jump rings takes considerable effort. So, they're not cheap. So if chainmail is a thing that you like to do, I would suggest investigating some of the jump ring maker systems that are out there. I know of two that are affordable, Pepe Tools and Kevin Potter. They both have jump ring making systems, and you can buy your wire, and you can save a lot of money by doing them yourself. Of course, you have the initial investment of the tool, but I think mine has paid for itself over and over again over the years. So, this particular bracelet takes like 250 3mm or 3.5mm jump rings. And, when you look online for like a little bag of 50 jump rings, you're paying a lot of money. So it would make a bracelet like this pretty pricey, and you're doing the work yourself. So, yeah, Nancy, Amazon does carry their book, and yeah, I could put that on my link, or on one of my links. Thank you for that, because I probably would have forgotten about it. But anyway, I am planning on doing several of her projects from both of her books over the course of time. My plan is to always rotate different demos or different techniques. If I do chainmail, last week I did, what did I do last week? I don't even remember what I did last week, but I'm going to rotate, from week to week, so that you get a little metal smithing, you get a little seed beading, you get a little chainmail, you get a little enameling, you get different things to suit different tastes. So that's my plan anyway. And someone had suggested, and I apologize, I don't remember who you were, said to just, after my demo or broadcast is over, to go to the guides page and make a guide for that particular project, of where you can get the materials. Some are going to be more materials than other. Oh, I did the lab slides last week, and there were a lot of supplies for that. But like for something like this, there's very few supplies. So, you know, there are very few supplies. So, they're not, all the guides are not going to be equal. If there's an easier way to do this, and you know of an easier way, please inform me, because I am just kind of, trying to figure out things as I go. So, all right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get my daughter's laundry going for dinner tonight. So, I'll see you guys on the group page. Post anything that you make if you try this project, or anything else. Also, please give a description of what, when you post a picture. Tell us what you did, how you went about it. You don't have to give like the full detail, but just like the materials you used. So, because not everybody is on the same page with everything. So, just in fairness, or not in fairness, but it's just nice to be able to explain your stuff a little bit. So, I'll see you guys on the page on Facebook, and next Wednesday doing chainmail. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.